Why is it that the kindest people you've known are always the first to show up and the last to leave? Why do they almost never say no, yet late at night, when the world finally goes quiet, they feel a strange, hard-to-name emptiness? Not sadness exactly, but the hollow feeling of having been slowly drained? Why does the more considerate you are, the more understanding, the more you put others first, the sooner your body seems to give out? And why is it that when someone says, "You're such a kind person," or "You're so easy to be around," you don't actually feel seen? Instead, it feels as if something has just been taken from you, quietly, without anyone noticing. And why, even when you are clearly exhausted, is it still so hard to stop? Why does the idea of saying no bring not relief, but guilt, tension, and a vague but very real fear, as if the moment you stop being gentle, something important might fall apart? You may have learned this very early in life, that kindness is a virtue, something to be praised, something that makes you worthy of love. You learn to be considerate, to step back, to place other people's feelings ahead of your own. But what if part of that kindness was never really a choice? What if it was shaped by fear, fear of disappointment, fear of conflict, fear of becoming someone who is no longer needed? Today, we are not talking about why kindness matters. We are talking about something far less discussed and far closer to the truth. What happens when kindness stops being a free expression of who you are and quietly turns into a way to survive? For many people, kindness does not begin in adulthood. It begins very early. Before there is language for boundaries, before there is a clear sense of self. Through repeated experiences, you learn a simple rule. If I am quiet enough, if I am understanding enough, if I do not cause trouble, the world will be a little safer with me in it. Maybe it happened at home. When you didn't cry, didn't argue, didn't ask for too much, the tension eased. Adults stayed calmer. Conflict was delayed. The room felt safer, at least for a while. Or maybe it happened at school. When you followed rules, accommodated others, and didn't make extra demands, you were liked, approved of, included. So you learned to watch carefully. You learned to read tone, silence, and expression. You learned to check the emotional temperature of a room before opening your mouth. A pattern formed. Take care of others first, then see if there is any space left for you. You noticed something important. When you swallowed discomfort, when you smoothed things over, when you kept things from becoming a problem, relationships continued. Affection stayed close. Connection felt possible. Here, kindness stopped being a free offering. It became a pass, a way to stay. And this is where the cost begins. When kindness is practiced to avoid abandonment, it always comes with conditions. You start to equate being needed with being worthy of existing. Your attention turns outward by default. Your own wants grow quiet, then unclear, then unfamiliar. It isn't that you don't have a self, it's that you learned very early that your place in the world depended on putting that self last. Psychology has repeatedly observed this pattern. People who consistently place others ahead of themselves are far more likely to experience emotional exhaustion, not because they are weak, but because they are rarely allowed to replenish. When you listen, comfort, support, and carry others again and again, while quietly setting your own feelings aside, and almost no one ever pauses to ask, "Are you okay?" Your emotional system enters a dangerous state, continuous output, with almost no return. This isn't metaphorical. The body feels it first. You feel tired, but real rest doesn't come. Nothing is technically wrong, yet your nervous system never fully relaxes. Small things irritate you. Then, guilt immediately follows. You tell yourself you shouldn't feel this way. There's another subtler shift you may notice. Despite giving so much, you don't feel nourished by connection. You aren't closer to people. You feel further away from yourself. And beneath your generosity, a quiet resentment begins to form. Not cruelty, not selfishness, it is a signal, one that has gone unheard for too long. You are giving more than your system can sustain. When a person is only allowed to give, never to be held, never to be responded to, never to be truly seen, burnout is not a failure. It is an inevitable outcome. There is something even more subtle and more painful that happens over time. When you consistently show up as the kind one, the world learns to rely on it. People begin to assume you will say yes, that you will adapt, that you will understand. They stop checking what you want because your past behavior has already answered for you. At first, people thank you. Then, they begin to expect you. Eventually, they stop noticing the effort at all. Your kindness shifts from a visible choice to an invisible background condition. And when expectation replaces gratitude, you begin to disappear. You're still in the relationship, but less and less seen. Still present, but rarely asked, "Is this too much for you?" Or, "What do you need right now?" You may notice a quiet change. The moment you slow down or show fatigue or express discomfort, people become impatient or say you've changed, not because you did something wrong, but because your kindness had already been taken for granted. This kind of invisibility isn't coldness, it is loneliness disguised as politeness, and it is one of the deepest sources of exhaustion for those who are always good. When you continuously push your own needs down, they do not vanish. They move into the shadows and find other ways to exist. Sometimes as sudden anger, a small misunderstanding, an offhand comment ignites a reaction you don't recognize. Sometimes as distance, sarcasm, numbness, or quiet withdrawal. You're still present, but part of you is already halfway out the door. You may shock yourself. Why am I like this? But this isn't you becoming worse. It's you being denied honesty for too long. When anger cannot be expressed, it turns into resentment. When sadness is never acknowledged, it turns into numbness. And when numbness finally collapses, self-disgust often follows. You judge your emotions, your reactions, even the kindness that once defined you. This is the shadow of kindness. It looks gentle on the outside, while pressure builds internally. Your emotions aren't evidence of failure. They are messages. You also need care. You also need space. You also need to be heard. For many kind people, boundaries feel terrifying. They feel like rejection, like selfishness, like pushing others away. Because early on, you learned a powerful equation. Love comes from giving. Safety comes from accommodating. Belonging comes from not being difficult. So when you consider saying no, you're not just avoiding conflict, you're fearing abandonment. But psychology is clear on this point. Relationships without boundaries do not become more loving. They become draining. When you constantly yield, you don't create closeness, you erase yourself. Harmony may be preserved, but authenticity is buried. Boundaries are not cruelty, they are honesty. They say, this is what I can offer, and this is where I need respect. Boundaries don't keep people out, they bring you back into your own life. The clearer your boundaries, the more equality a relationship can hold. Boundaries don't reduce kindness, they prevent it from becoming debt. Real kindness has never meant self-erasure. It is not enduring silently, not soothing others while falling apart, not telling yourself to just hold on a little longer. True kindness must include you. If your kindness survives only by ignoring your feelings, if your care always costs your rest, your emotions, your limits, it will eventually distort. It may harden into detachment, it may sour into resentment, or it may explode into behavior you no longer recognize. Psychology consistently shows this. Long-term self-betrayal does not strengthen relationships, it destabilizes them. The more you give, the more you hope to be understood. The more others grow accustomed to receiving, the less likely they are to notice your need. You are not unkind for needing boundaries. You need boundaries because you are genuinely kind. Boundaries don't reject love, they keep it alive. When you say, I don't have the capacity right now, I need time to think, I want to help but not in this way, You are not becoming cold, you are becoming honest, and real kindness is built on honesty, not fear, not guilt, but clarity. I choose to give, and I choose to stop. I choose to love, and I include myself in that love. Only then does kindness return to what it was meant to be. If you are the one often called the kindest person, yet feel tired, invisible, as if you're slowly fading in the crowd, remember this: you did nothing wrong. You were simply never taught how to make room for yourself inside your kindness. You learned to accommodate, protect, and care. But few people taught you that your feelings matter too, that your limits deserve respect, that your existence does not need to be earned through sacrifice. You don't have to suffer to keep relationships alive. You don't have to confuse endurance with maturity. You stayed because you cared deeply. And now you're allowed to care differently. Perhaps today you begin practicing a new kind of kindness, one that doesn't abandon you. Rest when you're tired. Decline when you're unwilling. Let yourself be cared for without proving you're fine. Though you may find that real relationships grow clearer, not weaker, when you show up honestly. And those that required your constant self-erasure were never meant to be carried by you alone. Kindness was never meant to be a mask or a survival cost. It can be a choice, a strength rooted in wholeness. When you stop trading kindness for worth, when you include yourself in love, that's when you truly begin to live as yourself. This is Felix. May you understand yourself a little deeper and treat the growing version of you with more gentleness. See you next time.